Good morning. You're welcome to our market opening show on Business Today in collaboration with India Today TV, 9 a.m. We're here to get you all the action just ahead of those opening ticks. Let's take a look at the top headlines from the corporate and financial world this morning. U.S. markets end higher on Fed rate cut hopes. Dow jumps 660 points for a third straight gain. Asia opens in the green, tracking Wall Street optimism ahead of possible December policy easing. Tata Motors kicks off the annual January price hike announcements, cites rising commodity costs which are squeezing margins as the reason. Hikes come just 2 months after the big GST cuts by the Modi government. Tata Motors tells Business Today TV that it's eyeing 25% of the SUV market, up from the current 16%. Bharti Airtel promoters to sell more than 0.5% stake in the company today. Indian Continent Investment, a promoter entity, will raise up to 7,200 crore rupees through block deals. Shares to be sold at a 3% discount to Tuesday's close. Overall promoter holding to fall below 50% from the current 50.27%. Computer manufacturer HP to cut 6,000 jobs globally as part of its streamlining operations and AI adoption plans, says AI is speeding up product development, improving customer satisfaction and boosting productivity. The company had already cut 2,000 jobs earlier this year. Even as US erects tariff barriers against India, a crucial leap for Desi seafood exporters. After 9 years of negotiations, 102 Indian seafood exporters are allowed access to the European market. Piyush Goyal says proper quality control measures have ensured seafood exports will surge despite US restrictions. All right, quick look at the U.S. markets overnight. Markets are in fact buoyant, both on Wall Street as well as Asia this morning on the back of Fed rate cut hopes. So that's really what's keeping sentiment in the green. We'll pull up some of those ticks for you in just a moment. We're also joined this morning by my colleague Shailendra Bhatnagar, Chief Editor at Markets, as well as Sharad Avasthi, Head of Research at SMIFS. Morning, gentlemen. Let's take a look at the index and how the setup's looking for us today and what the action's looking like in pre-open. It's been a fair amount of sideways trade, and it looks like the trend is continuing. After the recent spate of listings and all the earnings action and festive action, it's become quite slow at the moment, hasn't it, Shail?
Good morning to you, Aabha, and Sharadji, a very warm welcome. Hello everyone, we are on the first day of the December expiry. Remember, the seasonality data is always very, very positive for December. In the last 25 years or so, the index has fallen only 6 times. So it's a very, very positive data, and the gains have been phenomenal. As early as 2023, we had an 8% uptick on the Nifty, and the best gain in December has been 16.9%. Let's hope the gods are favorable. For the moment, it's a sideways trend for the next 2 or 3 days as the Nifty settles into a fresh monthly expiry. Strength coming into healthcare, pharma, PSU, banks, and to some extent realty stocks, and a bit of pain coming into the broader Nifty. Aabha.
All right, Shail will always find some silver lining to the markets, so that's his take for today. Sharad, let me bring you in on the setup on the index and what you're making of the market trajectory right now.
So good morning. So I think finally, we are getting to see a US rate cut most probably in December sometime. And the change in Fed chairman post also most probably will be visible over the next 3 to 4 months. So I think that will be a positive development. Though in India, till now, there have been very confusing signals regarding how the interest rates pan out, because the G6 have not really obliged in terms of rate movements. But I think with this rate cut and probably much more clarity with respect to India, the two problems that we have been facing is that rates were not going lower in the US, and hence we could not have a rate cut here. And the other problem we were facing is in terms of FII flows. So I think once US enters into a rate cut cycle, which is very pronounced and clear, there is high probability that we will have more flows into India. And the other two things that we are looking at is, that in various indices, the weightages that India has are already at lower than market weights. So I think that is one space. There is very little scope of further selling happening. So FII flows, we are expecting, that based on interest rates, currency probably now topping out at current levels, there is a possibility that all this serves as a very good reason for FII flows to return to India. And the currency weakness has also been in consonance with FII flows. So I think once that happens, you should also see some currency improvement. So all in all, I think the mood is very good and right for India to improve over the next 3 to 4 months. And I think FII flows should also improve from here on.
That's a really interesting point, Sharad. And in fact, I want to bring Shail in as well because, Shail, I think you had a chat with Punita Kumar Sinha and we'll play out an excerpt later on the show. But she was also sounding very confident in speaking from the horse's mouth, so to say, on that fund flow action moving back towards the Indian markets. What were the top two reasons, that she gave for backing the India story?
Aabha, I think that conversation was really breathtaking in the depth and the width that she explored in terms of global as well as domestic stock markets. So one was, of course, the fact that there are 4 or 5 very, very strong tailwinds that are there on the macro space in India. We all know them: GST rate cut, you have the interest rate cut, you have income tax rate cut, a good monsoon, and of course, strength coming back into many, many sectors, plus domestic flows. The only thing missing is the FII number, which now looks to be positive. So she's looking at a very strong trajectory on the Nifty over the next 12 to 18 months. And maybe, just maybe, mids and smalls now starting participating after, we've stabilized on the Nifty around 27,500 or so. Then she feels the mids and smalls will also start to rise. Aabha.
Great. All right. We have some breaking news coming in. The Union Cabinet is likely to approve the Rare Earth Permanent Magnets Manufacturing Incentive Scheme with a corpus of 7,300 crore rupees today. The government's aim to establish a fully indigenous manufacturing ecosystem with an annual production capacity of up to 6,000 tons. The program is expected to run for 7 years. That's the latest coming in. Remember, this is significant, of course, given that usually it's a China edge on this front. But right now, the Union Cabinet has said that they're likely to approve the Rare Earth Permanent Magnets Manufacturing Incentive Scheme. That's a corpus of 7,300 crore rupees, and the government aims to establish a fully indigenous manufacturing ecosystem with an annual production capacity of up to 6,000 tons. That's expected to run for 7 years. Significant when it comes to providing India an edge on the back of its rare earth mineral capacity there. So big push coming in from the government on this. Shail, immediate impact, just a minute to go for opening, but we're definitely likely to see a run up on certain segments on the back of this.
Aabha, exporters, shrimp exporters in particular, should do extremely well. And we also seem to see strength coming in broader exporters because of the trade deal. The market is open for you. It's a shade of green. All yours.
Absolutely. Let's pull that up for you. Green tick on opening. Let's pull up the indices, see where we're at. Remember, a little bit of overnight action that's feeding into the positive momentum on the back of a rate cut hope from the Fed. 0.3% high on the Nifty Bank as well. A lot of action building up across those banking financial names, and we'll pull up some of those as we go along. IT is back in action and looking strong today as well. Let's continue to bring up some of those gainers and losers for you. We've also got a few brokerage upgrades. Pull up a Godrej Consumer buy call from Goldman. See if that one's reacting for you. That's one in particular. We've also got some buy calls coming in on a Century Ply, for instance. We'll pull up some of these in a moment. But on the index, Tata Steel, Coal India, ITC, that's what's bringing up the gainers list this morning so far. A decent uptick coming in some of these heavyweights. And bringing up on the losers front, Bharti Airtel, and we'll talk through, of course, the big news there. Tata Consumer, some of the others, Cipla, BEL, HDFC Bank on the downside. Let's quickly pull up some of these buy calls. We've got Godrej Consumer, as I said. Let's pull up Century Ply. These are some of the buy calls coming in this morning. Some of the others we'll go over a little bit later. But Premier Energies, I think there's a buy call coming in from Nuvama on that one as well. So let's see if we're seeing some early reaction to that. Godrej Consumer, yes, up about 1.5% or so right now. So that's the action coming in on Godrej on the back of that news coming in. Also, keep an eye on oil and gas. I want to pull up some of those majors also in just a moment. Premier also moving, again a buy call coming in there. IOC, HPCL, Reliance, Brent, remember, has slipped over 2%, drifting below $62 a barrel as those Russia-Ukraine peace talks are nearing the final stretch. So keeping an eye on some of those counters as well. Reliance right now steady. IOC, HPCL will bring some of those up for you as well. Let's also bring up Tata Motors because we've got this big Sierra launch coming in. So let's bring up that and see how that's reacting this morning. Let's pull up a Tata Motors PV for you. And HDFC AMC, I also want to bring that one up. So 0.6%. Let's also pull up the PV division. And there you have it, 2.5%. So big launch coming in for you there. And HDFC AMC has announced a 1:1 bonus issue. So let's pull that one up for you as well, just to see how that's doing right now. But that's the reason you're seeing those kind of ticks on the screen on the back of the bonus. Sheila, what are you picking up?
Aabha, I'm picking up a record high on MCX, now 5 digits.
Okay.
10,025, 1.6% higher. I'm tracking the record high on State Bank of India, on Shriram Finance, AU Bank and AB Capital. So that's where you have very, very strong strength coming in. Broadly, the market is in fine shape in the first 5-7 minutes of trade. Very strong advanced decline ratio, 1750 shares in the green, just 558 in the red. So that's an easy 3:1 favoring bulls. The metals index, the IT index in top shape. And for a change, Aabha, after many weeks, I am seeing the Nifty small cap index doing some wonders. Out of 100 shares, 76 are in the green, and the mid cap select index is also doing phenomenally well. 25 shares, 21 in the green. So that is something that is a very good sign for the broader market to start participating. And of course, a strong move coming into Sammaan Capital, Steel Authority, as well as SMS Pharma from the mid cap space. Aabha.
All right, so quite a few mixed stocks there. They're seeing some action. But let's get Sharad in for his view on some of these segments as well. Sharad, whatever's catching your eye. I also want to, of course, highlight Bharti. Let me first get your view and then I'll take the audience through what's really happening on Bharti today. But from some of the stocks that are popping out at opening, Sharad, what's catching your eye?
Yeah, so recently I think Tata Motors is something that amongst the large caps is something that we like very much. I think the valuations are very comfortable at this moment, the passenger vehicle part. And with the Sierra launch and a few more launches and most probably the JLR issue also resolving going ahead, I think that's an idea which is our top bet in the passenger vehicle space. And I think something like a PG Electroplast could be a good idea to look at within the mid cap to small cap space. I think the type of growth that they can clock in over the next, 1.5-2 years, that should be very attractive. And we've seen a bit of correction there. So these are two things that we are looking at. And regarding the mid cap, small cap space, I think we are looking at stocks like Triveni Turbines, Flare has been something we have been looking at. So these stories look like good ideas to bet on.
Okay, Bharti Airtel, let's pull up all the action there for you. Promoters are set to offload a 0.56% stake. They're raising 7,200 crores via a block deal today. That sale is at 2,096.7 rupees. That's a 3% discount to Tuesday's price. And the stake sale by the promoter entity ICIL, that's what's taking place. They've already sold a 1.82% stake back in earlier in 2025. And the promoters currently hold about 50.27% in Bharti, and 27.5% of Bharti Airtel is owned by Singtel. So this gives you some amount of an idea of the breakup, as well as the fact that the ICIL share will also go down a little bit post this and will be below 50%. So that's all the action on Bharti this morning. Meanwhile, The Jan price hike announcements have started, with Tata Motors announcing that it will hike prices due to tighter margins as input costs climb. The announcement comes just 2 months after all auto companies slashed prices after the GST rate cut. Other manufacturers are expected to make similar announcements soon as well. So lots of action on Tata Motors this morning. It's not just price action, but also news buzz that's coming in with regards to those hike in prices.
Sir, if I talk about, you just mentioned about commodity prices, input cost pressure, how are they going along right now? Because if we hear about commodity prices, it's of course been volatile for quite a longer time. How is it at your end, sir?
No, we clearly see that it has increased by roughly 1.5% of the revenue in the last one calendar year, if I see. And that is something you would have seen that industry has not been able to pass on. So I think the first opportunity for that may be January, where you'll try to at least partially recover. Rest, we are also trying to engage into cost reduction initiatives, so that is also helping us bring down the cost.
But except the Sierra, do we see some price upward revision in January, sir?
Yes, I think Q4 you'll see a price increase in the models, because that is something which the OEMs have been absorbing so far.
All right. Lots of action in some of the big boys today. But Sharad, as Shail was also pointing out, there's plenty of action in the broader markets and some that we're seeing after some time. When it comes to some of your broader market picks, where would you be looking? Would it be thematically or individual stocks?
So I think individual stocks make more sense in the current market. As I told earlier, we have been looking at fair writing products. It looks like a good story. I think the current utilizations is 40, 50, 60%. And they are also doing a capex in Surat and Valsad. So, they have also diversified the product mix and premiumized. So we are working on Flare with targets of around 480. Triveni Turbine with the new launches, etc. I think they are receiving a very good traction. There are some products which are within the turbine space, which they are the first maybe globally to launch certain products of certain capabilities. So those are receiving good response. So I think that could be a very good, interesting story to watch over the next 1.5 year. And within IT, I think Scient is something that we are looking at very aggressively, where, the next 6 to 9 months, a lot of improvement could be visible as the subsidiaries and the rearrangement is worked out. So these are a few ideas that we are looking at.
All right, Shail, looks like metals are back in action today across the board. We are seeing some amount of traction building up on some of the metal majors. What are you picking up?
Aabha, I think two stocks really good, look good on the charts in terms of the reversal that people may want to play. One is GMDC, a very sharp correction that saw the stock move from 630 rupees all the way down to 475 just 2 days ago. So that's a very nice reversal that's happening. And of course, the big one, National Aluminium. This is something that looks really good. These two stocks need to be kept in mind if you are wanting to go long on the metal space. The charts are showing signs of strength coming back in. Within the capital market space, MCX is something that I've pointed out, but CAMS and CDSL, the back-end operations of all mutual funds and DMAT are doing extremely well on the charts. That is a space where lots of funds are also hunting for the long term. You have Anantraj doing very well in the realty space. That is something that needs to be looked at. And of course, who can forget Hind Copper, Aabha.
All right, let's take you through some breaking news coming in on Bharti Airtel. A large trade deal of 3.5 crore shares worth 7,400 crores changing hands at 0.6% equity. That block deal coming in at 2,108 rupees per share. Now remember, we are tracking this large block deal coming in on Bharti today. It was anticipated, with promoters looking to offload stake and raising over 7,000 crore rupees through that. This is at a slight discount to Tuesday's price. This is a sale by the promoter entity ICIL, bringing the promoter stake to below 50% now. And remember, 27.5% of Bharti Airtel is owned by Singtel. ICIL stake there currently coming down. They've already sold 1.82% earlier in the year. Now a large trade deal as anticipated taking place. 3.5 crore shares, 7,400 crores changing hands at 0.6% equity. Block deal coming in at 2,108 rupees per share this morning. That's the latest coming in on Bharti. I want to go a little bit deeper into Bharti, Sharad, because there's been a lot of eyes on this one lately. We've had a lot of buy calls, even though the promoters are taking some chips off the block. We've got a lot of buy calls coming in on the back of, renewed potential, whatever is happening in the ecosystem as well, perhaps making investors re-look at telecom recently with a fresh perspective. What's your take in terms of where Bharti stands right now as an investment opportunity?
See, in terms of valuation, I think we can't call it a very attractively valued story, but I think it's a fairly valued story. The type of growth we are expecting in terms of, telecom revenues, FTTH revenues, and the type of under penetration we have in the country, there is a probability that, it would continue to do well as a space. But if I have to pick within the sector, I think I would be more willing to take this trade through the Reliance route by playing the Reliance Jio story, where I think the ARPU improvement is still to play out. The ARPU is at a discount to what Bharti gets right now. So as that improvement plays out, I think maybe Reliance could be in a better place to play this, telecom story in India. While Bharti is not very attractively priced, I think at these valuations it's fairly priced, as we expect the markets to be good. So, maybe another 100, 200 kind of upside. So look at 2,200, 2,300 kind of targets on an optimistic market. But I think it's better to play it through the Reliance route if you want to play the telecom story in India.
All right, so still a little highly valued and a little bit more bullish there on the Reliance front. That's the view coming in from Sharad when it comes to Bharti Airtel, very much in focus this morning. The index is steady, up about 0.3% right now, looking decent, following global cues and keeping an eye on, of course, those Fed rate cut hopes. Also remember, huge move coming in from the government when it comes to the rare earth mineral policy, and we're waiting for the cabinet to formally announce that. But that's going to be something significant as well in terms of the approval for the rare earth permanent magnets manufacturing incentive scheme with a corpus of 7,300 crore rupees. The government aims to establish a fully indigenous manufacturing ecosystem with an annual production capacity of up to 6,000 tons, and that program is expected to run for about 7 years. Before we wrap up, one story that takes us back to the very moment the digital age was born in New York. Christie's is set to auction the original 1976 partnership contract that created the Apple Computer Company, signed by a young Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ron Wayne. Just 3 pages, but they mark the instant when a hobbyist dream became a global revolution. A document drafted at a kitchen table in Menlo Park is now valued at up to $4 million and returns as a reminder of how big ideas begin small and how 3 signatures change the world forever. The auction goes live on the 23rd of January.
लिविंग रूम को एक बार फिर बनाया है।
From how the markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth-creating ideas for you at the closing bell. Watch me as I bring to you the Business Today show every weekday at 3 p.m. only on India Today. From how the markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth-creating ideas for you at the closing bell. Watch me as I bring to you the Business Today show every weekday at 3 p.m. only on India Today.
For 25 glorious years, Business Today Golf has defined the legacy of corporate golfing. stage where CXOs and champions come together to compete, connect, and celebrate excellence. And legends from sports and business alike have walked these fairways.
Corporate call is very good, which I feel very happy.
All the best to BT because they've done a great job.
Enjoy the BT golf. It's more of fun, more of enjoyment.
And it's always nice to come to a golf course, you meet so many different people.
As we...
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A fresh stance in the market as far as the F&O space is concerned. December starts on a very, very strong note. A century on the Nifty in the first 15 minutes of trade, 109 points higher, helped very strongly by banks, in particular ICICI Bank and Axis Bank, contributing very, very strongly to Nifty's very strong total. You have across the board a very strong move coming into the advanced decline ratio. About 1800 stocks are in the green as far as prices are concerned. Actually, 2100 stocks are in the green, just 400 in the red. So it's an easy 5:1. Strength is now across the board. The metals index is the top gainer, 1.6% higher on news that the government is formulating a rare earth policy, and therefore you see a very strong move coming into National Aluminium, GMDC in particular, NLC India, Hind Copper, all of them doing extremely well. You have a record strength coming into MCX, now 10,119, 2.5% higher. AU Bank, Shriram Finance, SBI and AB Capital are also showing fresh record highs in the market, and very, very strong block deals happening on Bharti Airtel. That's a very, very big plus. And of course you have a strong buzz coming into Tata Invest, 8.5% higher. All is good after 3-4 days of a very strong correction that's happening in the market. We are now looking at 26,000 to be reclaimed by the bulls, and a fresh move will then start. Joining us on the show is shortly will be a view from the market. Let us see how it goes. Gaurav Sharma from Globe Capital is joining us. Namaste Gaurav ji. A very warm welcome to you. How do you see the markets on the first trading session of the F&O expiry?
Good morning, Shaleen ji. Thanks for having me on the show today. Nifty is just whooping higher, 110 points up as we speak, trading tad below 26,000 levels. Looking upbeat from here, 26,050, 26,100 are the immediate upside levels that we are eyeing at in today's trade, and I think Nifty should extend this recent up move to test those levels in today's trading session. Metals are bringing the shine and the bright and color to the Nifty index. PSU banks are again gaining their momentum alongside with some of the better of the financial space names like Muthoot Finance and Shriram Finance taking the pattern upwards. We continue to remain bullish on all these sectors, and we firmly believe that they will play a catalyst role taking the Nifty towards newer highs.
Fair point. 26,000 again, ladies and gentlemen, is back with the bulls. Let us see how the option space looks for the moment. If there is unwinding of calls happening and strength coming back in puts, then again 26,000 will turn into a very, very strong support as far as markets are concerned. HDFC Bank is now contributing 16 points to Nifty's tally of 124. ICICI Bank 15 points. Reliance 12 points, Axis Bank 8 points. Infosys also in the green. These are, remember, the top 5 most important counters in the Nifty. All of them are showing strength, and should the market for the next 5-10 minutes or so remain above 26,000, then the move will gain strength. Remember, over the last 4 trading sessions, we've corrected from 26,250 all the way down to 25,850. So it's a very decent 400 point correction in the market, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is something which should be bought into. Insurance space doing well. Look at NIACL. Look at the financial services space led by bank Bajaj Finance, and broadly you see very strong moves coming into Sammaan Capital, 4.5% higher, the top gainer in the F&O space. Steel Authority 3.5% higher, and K Fintech 1.3% higher. Gauravji, to your Ultra HNI clients, what is Globe Capital advising in terms of stock picks?
Chiranjeev, we have remained bullish on the PSU banking pack and the NBFC space. We firmly believe that the kind of performance they have posted in the recently, 3 to 6 months, they will continue to perform, and the second half will be better for the banking and finance space. State Bank of India, Canara Bank from the PSU banking space remains our preferred pick. From the NBFC pack, Shriram Finance is our favorite pick, and we also remain bullish from a long-term perspective on stocks like Hero MotoCorp from the two-wheeler auto space, and Mahindra from the four-wheeler auto space. As of now, very recently, we are giving a accumulate and buy rating on Bajaj Auto as well, and we firmly believe that this stock should gain momentum in the coming time, and in the next 2 quarters, at least a 15 to 20% up move is what we are expecting in this stock.
Aabha joins us with all her glow and sunshine.
Yeah. Thank you, Shell, as always. All right, let's take a look at some of the other stocks in action. I want to pull up some of these building products, because we've got MOSL coming in on saying that building materials are set for recovery after a multi-year slowdown. And the revival is being supported by low unsold inventory and product launch spillovers from the last year. We've also got some buy calls coming in on that front as well. And I think this is the same question I was asking yesterday, but to take it to you this time as well. In the sense of, like, we really haven't seen, Gaurav, this part of the trade pick up yet. Cement, building materials, so on and so forth. All the action has still been with the infra names, real estate names. We haven't seen the ancillary plays pick up as yet.
Hi, Aabha, morning. I think the slow growth and the slow momentum seen in the cement space specifically, or the building material space, if we can name it like that, is probably the outcome of the extended monsoon, which has led to some of the delays in the investments or in the construction activity. Despite that, we are still very much bullish on the large cap infra stock, that is Larsen and Toubro. We do have a buy rating on that stock, and we believe that the stock will edge higher in the coming 2 to 3 quarters. From specifically from the cement pack, we are bullish on Ultratech Cements. We have not released any buy report in any other cement company as of now. So these are the 2 areas the short, medium to long term investors can concentrate at.
$9.40, ladies and gentlemen. The metal space is now buzzing with gain. Let's look at NLC India. This is again a government PSU in the business of lignite mining, as also power production, 1.4% higher, 243. Now Hindustan Zinc is in its element, 1.5% higher, 470 for you. And lots of small spaces also opening up. Look at Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, 1.3% higher, 54.57. Banks in top shape. South Indian Bank doing pretty well. Axis Bank in strength at 1282. Equitas Small Finance Bank, 65.5 in the green. And a strong move coming into Ujjivan Small Finance. Let's look at this one. Gauravji, a view on the small finance banking side. Ujjivan was at about 44 rupees in the month of September, now 54. That's a 25% appreciation in 1 month. A view on this one, if at all?
Yes, some of the smaller names from the private sector banking stocks have performed really well. Ujjivan, AU Small Finance Bank, Karur Vysya Bank, City Union Banks, to add a bit, are among those names. The later two are on our radar, that is Karur Vysya and CUB. We have been advising them to our clients. So I want to make a general disclaimer here that our clients can have a position in it. I do not hold them personally. So yes, this space is also buzzing now, and I think this is actually the outcome of the overall structure that the banking and finance space is overall overall in a buy phase. Therefore, now gradually what we are seeing it down the ladder, some bank interest is coming in, and less talked about banks are also gaining up pace and momentum. So I think it is best advisable to stick around with those spaces which have performed well in the past, because they will firmly continue to head northwards, and we are very much optimistic that these banks that we have just named out have the potential. They have a cleaner balance sheet and a lesser NPS, so they are more likely to outshine.
All right. On the rare earth policy that the government is planning to announce, Gaurav, I know it's still preliminary, we're waiting for the formal announcement, but this is meant to give us an edge, of course, over something that China usually has a hold over. From that perspective, anything that you expect to see some amount of renewed interest in when it comes to this policy and the kind of capacity they're intending to create through this program?
We'll be sticking up to the basics here, Aabha. NMDC is one stop that we are eyeing at. It is in a consolidation phase, and we do not expect much of a downside from current levels. 73, 74 is where the stock is currently trading. I think keeping a medium-term view of say about 5 to 6 months, the stock should rise up towards 85, 90 levels. So I think this is one space people can concentrate at. Other than that, from the metal space, we are also bullish on National Aluminium and GSW Steel.
Aabha, I think it's a day for the banks. 430 points higher on the Nifty bank, and it's the smaller set that's also doing very, very well. Incidentally, it's helping the Nifty on its way up also, now consolidating above 26,000. But let's get back to banks. Union Bank is now in top shape. You have 156 there, 1.5% higher. Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, Union Bank, Central Bank of India, and the other old private sector banks are doing immensely well. So private sector banking, both old and new, PSU banking, the small ones as also SBI, and of course the mega ones, ICICI and Axis, all of them in top shape, now helping the Nifty on their way up and also aiding Nifty Bank too. Aabha, what are you watching?
All right. Clearly some amount of action coming in on the banks, of course. We've kept an eye on Bharti this morning because of all the news around the block deal. So that's clearly been one. All the indices are in the green, so they're looking good, and definitely small caps today are seeing a fair amount of action coming in as well. Natco Pharma is up about 4%. Let's pull that one up for you. So that's looking good this morning. Not sure if there's a news trigger, but we're definitely seeing Natco, a whole host of the financials are moving. I know we've been talking about that with Gaurav as well. On the downside, a spate of stocks, no major trend, so to speak, but limited on the downside. When it comes to healthcare and pharma, let's talk about that, Gaurav, because at the moment it's a sector that's pretty much in the background, but something like a Natco today is up about 4%.
Specifically talking about Netco now, it is on the technical chart front trading about 4% up in today's trade. This is a rising three kind of a formation, and the stock manages to close around these levels. This will be probably the first upside reversal move coming in for this stock. 866, 867, these are good levels for the stock. One can start adding up to the position. Stop loss is pretty much close here. Just 830 rupees stop loss is enough for the stock. stock, and if the reversal sets in, this stock has potential to gear up to 1000 odd levels. So I think these are initial signs. Let us wait for another 2 to 3 hours of trade. By the second half, the stock manages to sustain around 865, 870 odd levels. I think there is a breakout and the stock will fire up. Now, talking about the overall healthcare space, we are also bullish on the some of the hospital names, even the smaller of the pack. Apollo and Fortis have done well. We are even eyeing at Yatharth and Narayan Hridayalaya for that matter. Yatharth being one of our primary picks. They are doing well in the northern India space, and the kind of beds that they have added recently, I think they are all set for a fresh up move. Other than that, Lalpath also remains one of our favorites, specifically from a long-term perspective.
$9.46, ladies and gentlemen. The first half an hour has been one of strength, especially from the banking sector. Remember, it's also the first day of the December FNO expiry. December traditionally has been very, very strong for the Nifty over the last 25-30 years that we have data. December has turned out to be extremely beneficial for the index. Bharti Airtel in top shape, 2119 after a very strong block deal worth 7,000 crore rupees. Across the board, you have strength coming into the entire banking space, whether it's small finance banks led by Ujjivan, small private sector banks led by South Indian Bank, PSU banks led by Canara Bank, PNB, Bank of Baroda, and of course the mega cap, ICICI, SBI, Axis, all of them in top form. The Nifty Bank now 500 points higher, 1 percentage point up, record highs in MCX, in SBI, Shriram Finance, and of course the big one, MCX. So all is well in the world of bulls as far as Dalal Street is concerned on the first day of the FNO expiry. Aabha, over to you.
I think we'll leave it there this morning. Gaurav, thanks so much for joining us. So it's a good start to trade. Definitely a lot of action, not just on the index, but also in the broader markets. It's looking happy this Wednesday morning. Stay tuned. Lots more coming up.
Thank you, Aabha. Thank you, Shel.
For 25 glorious years, Business Today Golf has defined the legacy of corporate golfing, where CXOs and champions come together to compete, connect, and celebrate excellence. And legends from sports and business alike have walked these fairways.
Corporate golf is very good, which I feel very happy.